What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video. Today we're going to be continuing the Toronto Maple Leafs 2023-2024 player previews for the upcoming season. It's going to be so much fun to keep doing these and updating you guys on my thoughts for the upcoming season. And today it's Timothy Liljegren. We're going to the back end, we're going to the defense, and we're talking about Timmy, a guy that needs to take another step this year. So if you guys are new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. I'd love to have you guys here. Also, there's only probably today left. This is probably the last day of when this video is being posted. Go to Manscaped and use my code APH for 20% off and free shipping. I would greatly appreciate that. If they see enough from me, Manscaped, if they see enough from me in terms of codes used, I could potentially be a full-time sponsor with them, which would then obviously help me out big time because I could be, maybe a full-time content creator. I'm trying really hard. So yeah, make sure to go check them out. APH 20% off and free shipping. So Timothy Liljegren. Now, he's been a guy that's been intriguing for many years because he hasn't fully lived up, I think, to what people have expected from him. And there was that couple years there where Rasmus Sandin, when he was part of the team, and Timothy Liljegren were battling for spots on this roster. And a lot of people had thought that Liljegren had been lapped by Sandin. And then when Sandin was touted as this big prospect, people thought Liljegren lapped Sandin. So, you know, Sandin lapping Liljegren, Liljegren lapping Sandin. They were going back and forth on like, okay, who is truly showing that they're going to take their spot on this team? Who is going to be the young stud defenseman that's going to take over? And they never really worked at the same time. And Liljegren impressed. He was a first-round draft pick, and he was actually touted to be like a top 3 or top 5 pick at one point. And then he got mono, he got sick, and then his game kind of changed a little bit. But when he went to the Marlies, he impressed a lot of people, and he was playing in all situations. He was on the power play. He was on the penalty kill. He was playing big minutes. He was on the first pairing. Him and Sandin were paired together for a while. And then he came to Toronto, and he's looked pretty good. But they've been on the fence of what his role could be. And this is going to be very telling to see where they place him in training camp. Now, I'm pre-recording some videos here, so maybe there's already been some obvious things that have started in training camp, but let's just take a look here because Liljegren is only 24 years old. And again, like with NHL defensemen, anywhere between age 20 to 26 is where like you're truly going to find out, in my opinion, what this guy is made of. But he's 6 feet tall, 190 pounds. We'll have to check to see if he put on any weight in training camp. Like they usually update that stuff, and I think it actually just might have came out today at the time I'm recording, but I haven't checked it. But he signed a reasonable $1.4 million deal for 2 years per year, the AAV, a couple of years ago, right? So this is a pretty solid deal for him, but going into a contract year, he's going to want to play minutes, and he's going to want to impress. He's going to want to play some big minutes here. So if we're looking at this guy's numbers overall, right, with the Marlies, let's start here because these first 11 games, they kind of just threw him in and he had a point, but nothing crazy there. But with the Marlies, as a defenseman, 30 points in 40 games. That's pretty great. Then you see a couple games with the Leafs, nothing there. 11 points in 21 games. Okay, not too bad. Then he's been with the Maple Leafs pretty much full time and actually put up some pretty good numbers at the NHL level in terms of his offense. Now, this is kind of what he's been known for, is that he's more of an offensive guy. So if the Leafs want him to take another step, is that going to hinder his production offensively? Taking a quick break to let you guys know about the sponsor of this video, Manscaped. Hockey season is coming up, and we all know it's important to stay fresh and protected on and off the ice. And well, Manscaped is here to help us do that. I've got the Performance Package 4.0 with me. I've even got my travel bag, and it's perfect for the dressing room. Inside holds the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. It features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to help reduce accidents down there using its advanced skin-safe technology. It's also waterproof and has an LED spotlight for a more precise shave. Next up is a game changer, and that is the Weed Whacker Nose Hair Trimmer. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and has proprietary skin-safe technology. That's going to help nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate nose holes. You're also getting the Crop Preserver below the waist deodorant and Crop Reviver below the waist toner. And like I mentioned earlier, Manscaped threw in 2 free gifts with the Performance Package 4.0. That is the Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Get 20% off and free shipping with my code APH at manscaped.com. That's APH for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Now back to the video. Now, the reason I'm saying that and why his offense might take a little bit of a back seat is because the Leafs' blue line this year is not exactly strong at the time I'm recording this. It's not that strong. So there is some pressure on Liljegren to take a step defensively because in terms of the penalty kill, sure, you've got guys like Jake McCabe, you've got guys like TJ Brody, you've got guys like Mark Giordano, but we're not expecting Brody to take all the responsibility because he's already going to be playing big minutes on the first line. Jake McCabe is probably going to see a lot of penalty killing time, but if the Leafs are going to roll with 2 defensemen on the penalty kill, which they probably will, Gio, well, there goes my light. Gio is not going to be the guy killing penalties all the time because he's probably not going to be in the lineup all the time. Like, they can't rely on Gio at his age to take on all that responsibility because he's probably going to regress. I mean, there was rumors that Gio might retire this season. So I don't really know what's going on there. We haven't heard anything yet at the time I'm recording this. But Liljegren is going to have to see some penalty kill time. He's going to have to see maybe some power play 2 time if the Leafs go with Riley and Klingberg on that first unit, which again, it's possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's possible because both those guys can put up good offensive numbers on the power play. But the biggest thing is that if the Leafs are not happy with the way Klingberg plays to start the season or the way Jake McCabe plays or the way that Brody plays or Riley plays, whoever, he's going to have to step into that top 4 role. Like, as it stands right now, he is probably going to be starting the season playing with Gio, Mark Giordano. Maybe Simon Benoit pushes these guys because Benoit is a big physical defenseman, not very good defensively, which is obviously a problem, but he's a guy that throws a ton of hits and he'll block shots, probably kill some penalties, do a bit of everything, but he's not that great. That's the thing. Like, Liljegren has a step up over a lot of guys on this roster. And the Leafs D prospect pool is pretty good. They've got some guys down there. But Liljegren is the most ready guy now at 24 years old that has to prove something. He has to step in to that top 4 realm. They need that guy to step in. And I'll show you just in terms of their blue line. And again, I'm not saying this is what it's going to look like. But you're going to have more than likely Brody playing with Riley, right? Then you've got Klingberg and McCabe. Then you got Gio and Liljegren, and you've got Timmins also there, who could also push for time with Liljegren. Apparently, Timmins put on like 20 pounds. I could be wrong, but apparently he put on a bunch of weight. So he's clearly getting ready to try to take a spot. So, like I said before, if Klingberg needs to be sheltered big time, and they need to go with Liljegren with McCabe, which I hope that, you know, Klingberg plays well enough offensively that they don't have to do that. Like, Liljegren's going to have to step up, or else the Leafs are going to have to make some significant moves. So, Liljegren is probably one of the more important guys on this roster this year. He's a guy that really has to prove himself because this blue line is not deep. Like, they're not a deep team on the blue line, and that was something that they said that they were going to improve upon. But just bringing in Klingberg, it looks like the Leafs are going with this until the deadline. Now, they've got a great team on paper, but if some of these guys take a step back, it's not going to look so good. It's not going to look so good. So I want to know what you guys think about Timothy Liljegren. Leave the comments. Sound off. I want to hear impress or regress. I'm going to say impress. You know, at 1.4 million, especially if he's going to take a step up this year, I really hope he does. I think his offensive numbers will probably hang around the 25 to 30 point range, which is pretty good. But I think his defensive game will probably step up. I need him to be a little bit more physical. He was physical last year, but not enough. I need him to be a little bit more physical, and I think that this team has a good shot of getting stronger on the blue line at the deadline. So maybe he becomes expendable. That's the problem, right? So we'll see what happens. Like I said, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Sound off about Liljegren in the comments. Also, I mentioned before, make sure to use code APH for 20% off and free shipping. That's code APH for 20% off and free shipping at Manscaped. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.